Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's full-time reaction to Celtic 2, Ross County 1 here at Celtic Park. I've got Martin and Callum with me to go over that game. Martin, we'll start with you, mate. Another game where we looked a little bit flat, but we got the points in the end. Would you make it?
I thought Ross County came to frustrate, and they did that first half. We had a couple of half chances from the edge of the box. We just had to play it across the keeper, and narrowly missed those chances. But at half time, you're thinking, please, bring a bit of urgency at the second half. And then they get the goal. They get that goal, and you think, all the guys I was in the lounge, were all putting 3-0s and 4-0 second half. And you're thinking, I'm not sure I see a 3 or 4-0 at this stage, but they get that goal. And then, similar to Dundee United game, I remember you talking about, Paul, that it took the goal to waken us up and get a bit of sense of urgency. And then with a brilliant spell after that. And then he's about to make the subs. The gaffer's about to make the subs. You're thinking, I'm not sure if you want to make the subs, because we had the impetus at that stage, didn't we? You could tell we were going to score. And then a brilliantly worked first goal. Hatate was fantastic, and then the second goal, and then a little bit nervous at the end. But Callum made the comment when we came out. It felt like it had the significance of a derby game to some extent. The atmosphere, the way the fans felt, getting the victory after going behind, and of course after the result earlier today, and 9 points clear. So what a great way to finish a tough run. Because after that St Mirren game, you thought looked bad at the back, didn't look good up front, and then we've gone on that run. I think it's maybe 8 games now, 8 victories. So feel absolutely on top of the world.
Aye, Callum, the manager, makes 6 changes again today. Do you think that's maybe interrupting the flow a wee bit, or do you think it's just the team are tired and they kind of need this break to come? Because you can see it spells in the first half, man, just no rhythm at all.
It probably is that. It's but Ange spoke about this, and he says that he's going to rotate. He's going to keep rotating, and he doesn't care who the team is that our next opponent is. He will rotate. So I was expecting a bit of rotation, if I was honest. But I maybe expected somebody like Jota to maybe start and try and get the goals. He's done that a few times, and he's making my heart go far too fast, by the way, because sometimes you're wanting 2-0 up and then go and rest players and then bring on maybe your subpar players like Maeda. I don't think he should be a starter. I think it should maybe be Abada out there. He's a little bit more direct. He's a little bit better on the ball. Moments like that, and Martin said it, we didn't have any urgency. It looked almost like it's more like a pre-season game. We'll eventually get a goal, and we end up getting a fright. And they've happened maybe once or twice in this block of is it 14 games we've now finished. Yeah. So these 14 games, we've had a few frights like that. St Mirren being the biggest one, but to come out the other end of it before this massive break, to win 13 and only lose 1 is. I can't even think at the top of my head much better than that. Maybe Rodgers in 16 was a better season. That was it. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a massive, massive victory. Obviously, we went on down at St Mirren at the start of the day. It gave Celtic more of an incentive if they ever needed one anyway. But it gave us a big one coming into here. And Martin speaks about it as well. Once we go 1-0 down, it wakens us right up, and it's like, we're actually in a game, like we need 3 points, right? Sorry, we'll turn it on, boys. Apologies.
And I think Ross County going ahead got a lot more out of the crowd, as you both alluded to there before we came on. Martin, you've mentioned Hatate already. I thought he was instrumental in turning the game around for us, because he commits 3 or 4 Ross County defenders, stays calm, stays composed, picks out the cutback for Turnbull, who himself is composed to just sort of take a wee touch and then stab it with his left foot. But he also plays a wee 1-2, I think, with Haksabanovic for the second goal, and the finish for Haksabanovic is like something off a PlayStation, man.
It was a wee bit like slow motion, his finish, and it just went right in the corner. But the first goal to start with, Hatate, was just something else, with such skill. He didn't have a great game during the week, and I read all the comments about him on social media, criticising him. I thought, give the guy a break, He really has stepped up, particularly when the captain's been out the team. I know he's not played in that role, and there's been a number of people who've stepped up, but Hatate in particular just goes from strength to strength. Last year we talked about there being a bit lethargic. He had a long season, but this year, what a player he's been. It looked like we were going to score, but he created that goal, and then almost wanted him just to finish it, passed into Turnbull, and it felt like he took an eternity to score, But he just composed himself, and he picked it. I think it went through the keeper's legs. Yeah. But he was. I think he got man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. I love watching him.
Deservedly so. Callum, we need to, I suppose, talk about the referee, the handball. It was up the other end for me. Would you make it?
The rule, so we've all played football, right? The rule is, in my opinion, it's got to be deliberate. Matt O'Reilly's arm's in by his side. The boy flicks the ball up, and I think it takes a deflection.
That's not the written rule now.
Right?
Though.
No, I know.
That's
but these muppets that are running, that are writing the rules, shouldn't be anywhere near this game because they don't have a clue. They've never been around football, but they get paid fortunes to make stupid rules up. It's never a pen. It's not a pen. And there's an incident that happens in the second half where it ends up, looks very similar, and now you're screaming for a penalty as well. Because if you've given one, consistency, it's the worst part in Scotland in football. There's no consistency at all across any of the board. Well, refs, some people have the refs are this and the refs are that. The refs are just poor. They're not professionals, and that's what you'll get. You'll get an amateur level, and that's what will happen. And the decision, I'm right behind it. I've not seen it back, right, but in my first instance, I do not think it's a penalty. It's very harsh. It's almost like the one in the Bernabeu on O'Reilly again. It's where do you want his arm to go? He's not put his arm out, and it's not went to make himself bigger. He's not stopped the ball. It's just hit him. Use common sense here. Common sense to play the game. We've all played it. Get on with the game. But he gives the penalty. But the referee throughout the whole game, and even though we won, stinking. Absolutely stinking. See the free kick in the first half, where the ball gets whipped in, Laidlaw gets the ball, Maeda competes with him, and Laidlaw wins the ball, goes on the ground, holds it to time waste. He then goes and he's about to throw it, and he drops the ball, and he picks it back up again. He literally picks it up. It's an indirect free kick to Celtic in the 6-yard box. That's what the rules are, the rules. Yeah. He's not got a clue. He goes, fuck with my date. I'll go back and get a free kick to Ross County for Maeda jumping against the keeper. And Maeda is soft as anything. I've spoken about it so many times. He doesn't touch him. And the ref has then went back and re-refed the game when he's already not made that decision. But he's been, I'm in a bit of a pickle here and I don't know what to do. I'll give it as a free kick. It's escape. It's an escape for him. Poor.
Laidlaw's just made a mistake. He's just made a mistake. As you say, it's probably an indirect free kick. Martin, as you say, Haksabanovic gets a goal right before he's about to get hooked off. Right before, and that's his last action as well. He does come off. The changes come on. We could maybe have killed it later on, but as you say, with a 1-goal lead, there's always that bit of nerves going into the last couple of minutes in the added time.
I almost wish he hadn't made the subs because, as you say, we've just went 2-1 up and we're really on top at that stage. Look, Giakoumakis, I know you're one of his biggest fans, Callum, right? But I thought he come on and he was a bit clumsy, I thought, today. He puts himself about and gave away a few free kicks. It's just he's so keen, right? He's so keen and desperate to get involved, and he does ruffle feathers. But I thought he was a wee bit untidy today in some of his play. Jota was keen for him to get on. I don't know if you noticed, but when we scored the first goal, he ran on and he's trying to get the players and the ball back to the centre circle, and the referee was telling him to get off the pitch. So you can't be unhappy when Jota comes on. And Abada was a bit wasteful on a couple of his crosses. So I don't think the substitutions necessarily made a difference, but you're going to use your squad and you've got players of that calibre sitting on the bench. Why wouldn't you bring them on? Maybe just wait another 5 or 10 minutes, get that third goal, But you're almost determined, it's that whatever it is, 60 minutes on the clock, it's time to make a sub. That's what every club does, 60 minutes is substitution time.
And it's a hard one for him because see before Turnbull got the goal to level it, everybody's screaming out for subs like now, do it now, hurry up because we're behind. Callum vital psychologically though. After that result at St Mirren today, for us to hammer home the advantage, go 9 points clear. And I think walking into the game, you think, Ross County will just a bit of canter. That just shows you can't approach any game like that. You need to earn the right to win every single football match.
If football's played like that, it doesn't matter how good your talent is. See if your effort's not there. Most days you'll struggle if you don't put in the effort and outrun your opposition. You're not going to win games, and that's at the top level that we've already seen this season in Europe. They run a bit quicker, they're quicker on the ball, they're just that finesse on it. We need to get to that level, and today's game is you would be punished against a European side. That's maybe a 2-0 defeat to a Leipzig or something at home like that. So we need to maybe improve, but the most important part was to finish this block of games off with a victory, open that 9-point gap, and I mean psychologically they're done. They are, and just in my opinion, they're done because Celtic. And the difference between Celtic and Rangers right now is if Rangers go a goal behind, they know they're not going to win the game. They know that they're in trouble, and they know that they're going to really struggle to try and get a goal or even two to win the game. Now, you've seen that over the last couple of games that's happened. But Celtic, Dundee United, 2 each last weekend, you think, oh, come on. And I was at a wedding at that, and everybody was raging when Dundee United scored. And when it went 3-2, everyone's just like, it's Celtic. That's what happens. We never stop. Honestly, it was like that. And today, when I'm sitting there and it's 1-0 down, and you're kind of panicking, you think we need to take advantage here. We need to really ram it home and hurt them. And it does hurt them. And you get the first goal, and then all of a sudden the second one comes. I think maybe in 6-7 minute spell in between that. And Martin speaks how we were really good in that time, really clean with the ball, and we moved it quick. And Ross County just couldn't shift across quick enough, and that's where the first goal comes from. But that just hammers it home. And for me, 9 points. I don't know what the goal difference is. Maybe like 17 or 18. Maybe the goal difference is. I'm not going to say it right, but it's a great position to be in, and it almost says that now they need to rely on other teams beating us, because even if they were to beat us 3 times, which ain't going to happen, it just ain't going to happen, but if they were to beat us 3 times, that's the 9-point gap. But then we still need to then lose somewhere else or draw somewhere else. They need to be 100% perfect. What Ange was like last year, they don't have a manager that's good as ours.
Yeah. Martin, I think the last 3 games you could probably say we've just done enough to win the points, not playing brilliantly. Dundee United, Motherwell, then today against Ross County, but I think that says a lot about the team. When they're not playing well, they're still getting the points. I think you spoke about 14, I don't know if it's 14 or 15, I think it might be 15. I think we had 6 and then St Mirren, then I think 15 played, 14 wins.
Played.
Yeah.
15 played, 14 wins. I think out of those 15 games, I think 5 we've won by a single goal. But in the other 10 by the defeat, I think those other 9 games we've won convincingly. In those 5 games we've won by a single goal, we've had to come back in quite a few. I think St Johnstone, I think you talked about Callum, Ross County, I think's maybe in there, Dundee United. And then again today, and I think there's maybe another one in there, maybe we weren't behind or not, but we've shown resilience. I mean, you think about St Johnstone, we came back, they scored in injury time, didn't they?
Aye.
We came back and got a goal. What we're now seeing with Ange is, when we lose a goal, there's an immediate reaction now. We've seen that several times, we've won those 5 games by a single goal. But that's what you need to do during a league campaign. You cannot, no matter how good you are, you can't go out and win every game 5-0. Just doesn't happen. So those 5 games we won by a single goal, they're massive. And the fact that we've been behind in quite a number of those, that's massive as well. The last 3 weeks have been tough against games you would expect to win, but we beat Motherwell 4-0 a couple of weeks before, and then you're not going to beat them 4-0 again. You know, you go. So we've done enough, but I've been the only game I felt during that 15 games where I felt we totally underperformed. I've came away feeling flat with St Mirren.
Yeah.
Every other game we've reacted well, we've played, we've been the better team, and you've just had a feeling we're going to win the game somehow. Maybe not beautiful football for full 90 minutes, but those 14 games I felt brilliant throughout the game, and never thought the result was in doubt.
Yeah. Callum, man of the match today. Do you agree, Hatate, sponsor?
Hatate was very good, and especially with that goal leading up, the neat passing and how tight it is. You almost see that every week, and it just gets booted by a defender. Yeah. But it's so nice, to be fair. No, I'm going to give it to Haksabanovic.
Okay.
I'll give it to him because I think that he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Maeda's very one way. He doesn't come up and he'll no do a step over. He'll either put it back to Ralston and whip a ball on, or he'll just try and beat his man on the outside. He's not got much to his game. Haksabanovic had a lot of pressure on him to take it, and he's filling Jota's boots. One of the better players in this team. So really, really big responsibility. His goal is just is beautiful. His goal is he just smooths it into that. He just almost like finesses it, curls it in there. And it's just, Laidlaw's he's a big guy, isn't he? And he doesn't get anywhere near it. So I would go Haksabanovic. But just before you go, Paul, anyway, I need to give a wee shout out to a guy called Henry that I met in Madrid. He was sitting next to me on the plane. He's from the Preston Emeralds down in Manchester. He comes home and away, follows Celtic all over the world. He's in his 60s or his 70s, he was telling me. I think he was 68 he was. But he follows him, and I ended up meeting him today. And I wanted to just give him a big shout out because he was so nice to me. And I seen him all over Madrid, Martin. End up being in the same pub as him in the game night, I know, in any pub I know. And I meet him in there. So that's to the boys for the Preston Emeralds from Manchester.
Right, brilliant there. Callum's man of the match. Henry, who's yours?
So I would agree it's Hatate. I think we talked about earlier on with the captain missing. You know, we rely on him so much. Guy, I was sitting beside today. I said, I think we've really missed him. You're kidding, we've missed him. We have missed him, and you do miss him. He's brilliant. But I think between O'Reilly and Hatate, you know, they've really picked up that centre of the park, haven't they? And they've allowed us to consistently perform at a good standard. So Hatate for me, and my call out is not for a friend or anybody that I met in a recent trip or recent game. It's for the manager, the connection with the manager and the fans at the end of the game today. Wow, I just watched it and I almost had a tear in my eye. You know, you could just tell he absolutely loves the fans and the fans love him. The connection with him, the Green Brigade, they almost didn't want to leave the pitch at one point. He just kept looking back and, you know, just felt the love there. So a big call out to the gaffer. What a difference he's made to this club.
Aye. Absolutely brilliant. What a place, what a time to be supporting Celtic. That's it for Full Time Reaction. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts on today's game below. We are 9 points clear. We'll see you in Malone's for the post-match pint. Thank you.